Chad, you mind do the roll call?
Yes, sir.
Somebody's there now.
Mr. Wickett. Here. Mr. Madison.
Here.
Mr. Quayle.
Here.
Mr. Elder, Mr. Bishop, you have a quorum, Judge.
Sure. First item on the agenda is consider approval of the previous meeting held November 2nd, 2017.
Motion.
Second. Mr. Masters.
Yes.
Mr. Quayle.
Yes.
Mr. Wicker.
Yes.
Unanimous.
Second item on the agenda is consider approval to advertise in the chamber directory, which is something we do every year.
What was that number?
Total amount is $250 for a full page. Is that what we usually do, Kevin? Yeah.
Motion.
Mr. Masters.
Yes.
Mr. Wicker.
Yes.
Mr. Quayle.
Yes.
Unanimous.
Third item on the agenda is discussion on criteria for permitting encroachment upon county roads. What the issue is there, we've been having some people that we found out that they put some entrances in on county roads. I think Keith discovered it whenever he went out to do an address point, and Jimmy told me about it too. Some of these people are not coming in, and we've got an ordinance that's basically states that needs to be done. So I guess we need to advertise this. And
Need to advertise it. The issue I have with that, and I've got the same problem everybody else has, is that Jackie, I'm using you for an example, nothing offensive, man.
Use me.
If Jackie Wicker puts a culvert in, and it's 9 feet long, and then down the road, somebody comes in, buys the property and says they need a culvert, then you get into that mess. There's one there, they say.
Yeah.
Well, it never was right anyway.
well, the sight distance too, they can put it
Yeah.
in a dangerous spot, and we're not even aware of it.
Yeah,
So,
we've got the site distance issue
Well, I
too.
had one, and it might be one of the ones on the Pope's Creek where it said it was an existing entrance, but I looked at it, there was an old farm road in there. Now that, I don't know if that's considered existing entrance or not. It wasn't any culvert there, but there, right by the bridge. But I got to looking, there's a drive up here and a drive down there, and I didn't see a cross culvert. So water gets in that little spot there. It probably needs a culvert on one, needs to have one on one end or the other, doesn't it, wouldn't you say? I mean, I think the sight distance is probably okay, but he said there's already an entrance there, which
Well, the hardest thing on the road,
it might have been a farm, going into a field.
Other places culverts the county has put in, right?
Yeah, but I mean, they can't just put a drive in and them, we'll be the ones to determine if it needs one or not. That's the way it's supposed to be.
there may be some
If it's
interest.
not one there, it's at their expense, so.
There may be,
Yeah,
there may be some interest in the county that are actually existing that don't have a culvert.
Yeah. I think that's what this,
They still don't need it, but it would be an entrance that maybe would be grandfathered in before the site distance law if it actually was an entrance. Anybody knows that.
well, these were new addresses,
Yeah.
the 3 or 4 that we had.
Yeah.
So
I know of 2 in mind that were new. One of them probably doesn't need one, I don't know, but neither one of them, I think, called about it before.
no, I mean, that's what, I don't think people are aware of this ordinance. So I guess I just need permission to advertise to get it out there that we do have an ordinance
Yeah.
for this problem.
And like I said,
They can be made to take them up, can't they?
Motion to advertise.
Well, if
that.
they're not to the standard, like if the distance, some of the criteria is the site distance and yeah.
As far as going forward and making sure that people get the permit for the encroachment, when Sharon and I do the address, they usually come in and we're the first to go on site. We can get many of them that way. We'll say you need to get an encroachment permit. It's a free permit.
all right,
Nothing unless it's coming. And we'll send it to the judge's office. Some of those people are, I found driveways lately that have already been put in. They'll hire a dozer operator and he'll put the driveway in and the people don't know what to do. So that's the reason we need to advertise it and let people know that there is a regulation. We'll do our best to enforce it going forward. But, you know, there have really been people killed in the past because of the sight distance. I worry about the sight distance.
Or, yeah.
One was
Yeah.
really close to a bridge in our county recently. And to answer Steve's question, if you get a grandfathered road, an old road, it's not currently being used and people want to start using it, and it does not meet our criteria, I would suggest that that would be a good time to correct it. If it doesn't have the proper sight distance, then we wouldn't approve it. But at any rate, Jimmy would have to look at it. I mean, he's the guy that would bless it or not, as the judge's designee out in the field. But we need to get the people coming in and let them know that there is an encroachment permit.
Yeah, I think some people are aware of that, because I've actually over the years had several calls asking me about a permit. I don't remember what we did, but we need to do it again.
We do.
Yeah.
We need to keep it before the public, and
Yeah.
I think it'll take care of it.
And like I was saying, I guess he needs to determine, sometimes all it does need a culvert, but sometime it does. You know, it might not in the dry time, but we can't have a big pool of water standing over.
Well, our road regulation says that nobody will put in a driveway that will interfere with the normal flow of water along that county right of way.
Right.
So they may need a culvert, and they may not know that.
Yeah.
Unless Jimmy looks at it.
You know, I don't know how far I want to go with this, but an issue that I have, and I'm sure everybody here's had them, out in the county worse than around the town, is, again, Jackie builds a house back off a road, and he calls me, wants to know when I'm blocked off the road.
Why is it always me?
Can't do it.
Always.
They're not guaranteed mail service, they're not guaranteed anything. I think people need to understand that, maybe write that in the paper also, that you need to check before you buy a place back in the knobs and expect all these services, because they don't have to happen.
Doesn't have to be, it's not guaranteed.
And what about, you talking about existing, it's two-way, if there's a house there and a driveway, that's existing. But if it was a road just going off through a gate into a field, you know, used 2 or 3 times a year, or 4 or 5, is that still considered?
Yeah,
That's what I'm saying, is that, that's that particular one he's talking about. There, and they probably didn't even use it once, twice a year, or whenever.
you know, it says you're supposed to get permission to do that.
Yeah.
You know, the ordinance clearly states that, not optional, it's, you gotta do it, so.
Well, could you sort of be a prerequisite to get, you want an address, have you got a,
Well,
Or-
I thought about that, Larry.
I don't know.
I don't think when people request an address, that we need to refuse the address. I mean, I don't think from a federal standpoint that we can refuse to do an address, but we can encourage them to get the encroachment permit.
not get to go in there?
Well, I can tell you what the state did in my district. I won't say a name, but they were riding down the road a few years back, and there was a house being built, and the state engineer and Tommy Kelly at that time rode down the road, and they saw this house. They stopped and talked to one of the guys that was affiliated with it, and the guy said, "You need a permit." And the guy on the property said, "I don't need anything. It's my property, my house." He said, "Yeah, you're correct. There's a little section between that road and your house that belongs to us, and you ain't crossing that unless you get a permit."
It's an encroachment, that's what it is, encroachment permit.
In particular, this might be the same one, but the real estate people had sold this lot and didn't have a sight distance. It was the same thing, and he was continuing on, so they put a guardrail up. The real estate people wind up having to take it back because there was no proper entrance into the lot.
Well, the thing that I would encourage the people to do is, we'll give them an address, but if the encroachment permit, if they go ahead and get the address where they want it, and then the encroachment permit makes them move that driveway, then their address is going to be wrong. So, need to get it first.
Then we'll get it figured out. All right. Motion
To advertise.
to pass that.
Mr. Mash?
Yes.
Mr. Quayle?
Yes.
Mr. Webb?
Yes.
Mr. Elder?
Yes.
Unanimous.
Item number 5, consider approval to install internet at transfer station to monitor camera system at the gate. What that would be is the current dumpsters out there, Jimmy would be able to look on his phone and see that they're full and need to be dumped right now. The only way to be able to check that is to actually drive out there and see it. So that would be a big benefit to.
Motion.
Second.
Mr. Elder?
Yes.
Mr. Wicker?
Yes.
Mr. Masters?
Yes.
Mr. Quayle?
Yes.
Unanimous?
Item number 6, open bids for detention center equipment. I think we got some here, Barry.
We got plural, we got bids.
Looks like we do. What's the other?
Hey, John, have you ever noticed whenever Barry comes in opening bids and wants money, he's dressed pretty nice?
You know, I was wondering what the occasion was, you know?
It's all for you, Elder.
Well, I appreciate, you know. I guess when we're getting ready to vote on this money, you know, he wants to look his
Yeah, he wants
best.
That's exactly
Look like somebody likes to,
Yeah. I thought the same thing.
We got one bid from the Ram Company on the clothes washer and dryer units, $34,583. So that's basically where we thought we was gonna be on that. On the
34?
$34,583. So that's kind of like where we was led that we would be. It's the only bid we've got on the washers and dryers. Now, on the dishwasher in the kitchen, we had the one bid that come in last week that was, or last meeting, it was 28,000 and some, and the court just passed on it for the time being. We advertised, but we got no response from it. So we made some contacts with some of the supplier companies and actually approached it in just a little bit different vein, and that was just let us purchase the equipment since we're just replacing it. It's a newer model, and try to hire our installation from local installers instead of hiring it from them. And it actually made quite a bit of difference. I don't know exactly what the install is, but we've got a C&T design company that bid the dishwasher without a boost on it for $20,005.54, and then they had with the boost on it for $23,125.31. So that's C&T, and that's a Hobart system. We had Federal Supply bid the same system, a Hobart CL44EN, and they come in at $19,999.33. What that is them just shipping us the equipment, and then what we would do at that point is move forward with the local install.
Does that affect the warranty or anything if the local people install it?
They didn't indicate anything, as long as it's done by licensed individuals. We would get a licensed electrician and licensed plumber, hopefully all in one, to help. And we would utilize our inmate labor as well as our maintenance labor to assist them in that process. But from the bid last week on that piece, we was looking at 28,000 and plus. So we're looking at that company doing an $8,000 install.
Do you need the boost? Is that something that?
No, and the boost is, it just eliminates us from doing a chemical wash on it, and $3,000 for the time frame. We probably won't use that much. We just elected right now not to use the boost and just do it with how we chemically did.
So it would be different what you're doing now?
No different from what we're doing right now, but we would get updated equipment. So actually, Federal Design out of Illinois has the C&T company beat on the very same equipment. So we got, right now, that would be, we would need the 34,583 and then the 19,999.33. And then, of course, we would look for our local installers for the washing machine, dishwasher.
You're looking at 53,000, about 54,000. So about 54,000 some change.
Yes.
Yeah.
Is that,
That's it.
Do we want to ask if that's all?
No, but
I'm sorry.
You didn't make the meeting, though.
Yeah, I know.
he looks so good, you ought to show a little respect.
Yeah.
is that the bid, I mean?
Oh,
for
shut.
Is that the,
That's the bid. Of course, now, the washer, we did a seal bid on it for unit and install. We passed on it on last meeting. I made some calls and just negotiated, said, guess what? Just let me buy the machine and me do local
installation?
local install.
That's what I,
So,
Hope it don't affect the
even
warranty.
on the install, it gives us opportunity to get it, to keep it in the local portion. We can't buy the machine local, but we can hardly install.
price is cheaper.
Yes, it's cheaper to do it this way, just buy it out under the $20,000.
Yeah. As long as your local installation isn't too
It's
crazy.
licensed.
Yeah. Okay. Motion to approve the purchase of the washer and dryers along with the dishwasher.
Second.
Mr. Elder,
Yes.
Mr. Quell,
Yes.
Mr. Mason,
Yes.
Mr. Wicker.
Yes.
Unanimous.
Will this be paid out of LGA funds?
We had mentioned it, it's a qualifying,
Yeah.
rather than borrow the money, I think it'd be the proper thing to do, would take it out of LGEA.
Before we move forward, I aim to say something I forgot. On this internet at the transfer station, according to their bid, are they showing adding another phone line? Because we can use the phone line that's there.
Melissa's been talking to them, saying it'd be core service or something we could get it. We use the
What?
line that's there.
Well, it's going to be the same line. They put another line, it's going to be just like that line. The phone line will. You don't have internet out there now, do you?
No, we don't.
It's just a phone line.
So they don't need that extra line.
What, if they're just gonna add internet, it'd be just like if you've got a phone at home, you want internet, they put it on your
Use what you got.
phone line.
That's what we do. That's what we do.
That's what you need to do.
You went through
According
Windstream?
to this, they're showing another phone line, which you might need to clarify that before they put this order, because,
So this is, so you're going through Windstream for the internet service,
yeah,
correct?
it's according to this, it's because Time Warner's not out there, I don't
Right.
think anyway, but if they've got a phone line out there,
Yeah. It's going to be the same. It's not.
yeah, no matter if they get a new line or not, it's gonna be the exact same as that one.
It's a good point.
And there's no reason to have two phone lines, unless you need two phone lines, or you're just gonna move Randall's phone out there or something, you know,
He's got a cell phone.
okay.
Yeah, you don't have a phone.
Before she orders that, have her clarify that,
Okay.
because I don't see a reason for two phone lines. POTS line, showing a POTS line.
Yeah.
And now, hold it now, let me back up. If they go above 10, they got to have two lines to run properly, to get enough megabits.
You know what, I was going to say
That may be
that's,
what it is.
Yeah, because
But
you're
it's-
going to have high speed or
They
enough.
got, anything above 10's got to have two.
Right, so that's what it is.
That may
'cause
be what it is.
Anything
Some-
below that or a standard dial.
I was thinking they were adding another, yeah, for the cameras to work right. So that's what that is. I was thinking we're gonna add a whole nother phone line, but
Yeah,
you gotta bond them and have two. So it's probably correct then.
yeah, but it's a good question. I mean, still ask the question, but
Yeah,
I think that's exactly right, because I know when I
Yeah.
initially put mine in years ago, they had to put two lines because of the
The
data.
bond, yeah, to get above a certain point, it takes two lines. So that's what that other line's for. I was thinking they were just gonna add another phone line, put it on that, but that's where the extra speed you're talking about. I withdraw my question.
Wow, after all that, I mean, gosh, dang. Stevie, make sure you erase all that, okay? Officially withdrew it, so.
I get confused a
Just
lot.
cut it short. He asked a
Yeah.
question, then withdrew it and forget all
Actually, I'd
about it.
appreciate if you'd print all that and then at the end up in Master Quell at the end.
Just what do you want to do?
Dad, you can X yours out too.
I've already got it. Once it's down,
Damn.
Written in stone.
I actually skipped an
Motion
item.
stays as is.
Item on the agenda is consider approval of it's now 2 pauper funerals.
Motion.
Second.
Mr. Elder?
Yes.
Mr. Masters?
Yes.
Mr. Wicker?
Yes.
Mr. Quayle?
Yes.
Unanimous.
You gonna get with them about
I
that?
want, yeah, I was gonna say, get with them and reiterate the rules and regulations on all that.
Might get with Lisa too to clarify that for me on the pauper funeral qualifications.
And they need to be before the fact, which normally they are, but make sure they understand that. If it's after, then
Item number 7 is open bids for a truck for transfer station. We've got Mr. Scott Picard with Worldwide Equipment here that brought us his bid down personally. Jim, if you want to open that up. Looks like that's the only bid that we have.
This is a little project he's talking about doing.
Yeah, I've got a question. So if you don't mind, could you explain to us just how exactly that does work?
Sure. We call it the municipal rotation program, and the goal of the program is to operate equipment with the lowest daily operating cost. I was with Matt Corporate for 18 years. I'm with Worldwide Equipment now for over 6. I work with dealers in other states that have been doing this for over 30 years. Kentucky counties have been doing it for about 17. And it fluctuates. Some counties get in the program, get out, what have you. We do it with dump trucks, triaxle dump trucks. We do it with what we call a lowboy tractor, which is what this is, and different roll-off refuse equipment. And so what we do is we work hand in hand with an auction company to spec the truck for maximum resale, so that the next user, it may have a little chrome, it may have a little higher horsepower, nicer interior, some of these things, but anything we do, it's so the payback is greater than the cost of that option. And what counties, there's from the IRS standpoint, there's 3 arm's length transactions. There's a new truck bid where I come in. Then there's the financing, which all can pay for it. A lot of the counties finance with KCO, where they set up an 18-month note, and they make interest-only payments for the year. They take it to an auction and sell it at an auction. The third party, we've been using Jamwood Auction Company out of Montgomery, Alabama. They will give you a guarantee in writing of 85% of the value if it meets certain conditions, trade-back conditions. No broken glass, no cab damage, the brakes, the tires, all. And then they do put a mileage stipulation. I think tractors are around 50,000 miles, something like that. But,
Per year or?
Per year.
Okay.
City of Hopkinsville has put over 50,000 miles on their tractors. It still brings 85% and then some. So worst case scenario going into the deal, what it would be. You're not obligated. You'll have this contract with a guarantee in writing from the auction company. Now, if you enter into a contract with them afterwards to say, yeah, we will sell it, then that's between you and them. But you're not obligated to do that. You can run it a second year, you can run it however long you see fit. Like I said, the goal is to have the lowest daily operating cost. And you all do not pay 12% federal excise tax. You also pay state sales tax. So you're at a purchasing advantage over a private contractor that has to pay those taxes. So these tractors, I think I shared with you all the history of the last 3+ years. The tractors bring at or above what the county had paid for it. Now the auction company takes, they take their fees, but My experience, most of the time the county will almost break even on this deal. There are times when they made money. I never advocate going into it to make money. Sure enough, the market will drop it. But you do have a worst case scenario with the 85% guarantee. When you understand the program, I've been in the business, this is my 33rd year. I've yet to see a program that enables a municipality to operate equipment for a lower daily operating cost. Outside of someone giving you a piece of equipment for free. And I'm all ears if someone can show me a way, for you to operate equipment for less money. I did a study, I had a guy working for me a few years ago, on triaxle dump truck, $140,000 dump truck. Over a 5-year period, there was good times and bad times over that period. They averaged $6.08 a day to operate that truck. You can't even put gas in the car for that today. A roll-off tractor, which was a roll-off truck, which hauls containers, it was around $30 a day. We didn't do one for the tractors, but it falls right in line. So if you understand the program, it makes a lot of sense. But you guys control what you want to do with the tractor. If you want to keep it, that's up to you. But if you understand the program, most people understand equipment. Over time, each year, your maintenance costs go up. And there comes a point in time with older equipment, you're spending more money on maintenance than what you would to buy new. And it makes sense to upgrade and buy new.
So let me ask you a question real quick. So bottom line is that looking at the 120 figure, so is this an annual agreement? Is this how long does the 85% hold still?
It's good for 1 year. So it's good for 1 year. And
let's say that at the end of that year, that's 102,000 or a little above. Let's say at the end of that 1 year, we decide to auction it or whatever, and then it brings 102,000.
That's about 85%.
So yeah, they guarantee us the 85%.
So they're not making a nickel, they're giving you the 85%.
Let me say something. Let me be the devil advocate here. At 85%, I'm not pro or anti, I'm just listening. At 85%, you're figuring 15%. In 7 years, that's 105% that you'd have invested in this vehicle if you get the 85% deal. Mm-hmm. In the 7 years, you do have something left in the barn if it's worth anything. Mm-hmm. So I see what you're saying.
And I can show you history of the last week where it's been greater than the 85%.
Yeah, well, I'm just...
You're looking at it from a worst case scenario.
Yeah.
I do understand and appreciate it.
What are repair bills now, or what do we figure that truck's costing us?
It was like 14,000.
But how old is the truck?
2010.
It's 8 years old.
Yeah.
So you add that extra repair cost into your scenario.
Yeah, it's cost us money.
Let me ask
What's the
you.
maximum mileage you would put on one a year?
We figured just about 40 to 45, 40, 50.
So we're staying about 50.
So if it's under 50, she's still lower.
You said interest rate.
Like I said,
What's Keiko's interest rate? What's Keiko's interest rate?
They still brought the money.
Actually, what I'd like, if we can, is we have the bid, okay? What I would actually, have you seen the contract or reviewed it? So I'd like to have, I think before we move and do calls, to have the county attorney review the contract as well as ourselves, if we can get a copy of it.
Sure.
And then any questions we have, we can direct to the county attorney in our next meeting in 2 weeks. Then the county attorney can advise us in regards to how you feel about the contract.
The 85%.
Yeah.
I'm talking about, yeah, exactly.
On the 1 year deal.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, yeah, that's correct. Yeah. Yeah, so if you,
But the damage, does it stipulate damages or is that a random?
In his contract, he'll step it out. There's basically what's called industry trade term conditions.
Yeah.
No broken glass, no body damage, brakes at a certain percentage, tires at a certain percentage.
So it does stipulate, okay.
Yeah,
And that-
there's an American Truck Association that has these, it's like I said, it's
All right.
any fleet deal, any deal, it's common boilerplate,
Yeah, all right.
that's bottom line. I just, before I think we can vote on anything, we need to understand what the contract, the details, as I
But
say.
the purchase of it's a different, like you
Right.
said, it's a 3-phase. You buy the truck, you sign the contract, and you decide to sell.
Right.
Because you don't have to do the later if you don't decide to do so. If you decide to keep the truck, you can keep the truck.
Right.
Is it a lease or a purchase?
Well, people call it a lease, but it is a purchase.
It's a purchase.
It is licensed and titled in your name. Basically, our company policy is once we are paid for the truck, we give the manufacturer certificate of origin is what you use to go get title. And like I said, the 85% guarantee, you can have that from them. You're not locked into it. And so usually about 6 months into it, they're going to want to know as they prepare the upcoming auction, I'm going to need to know to make sure I have a replacement vehicle ready for you. And just so I want to just talk a little bit about how this is priced. I go to Mack Trucks and we do roughly 70, 80 trucks throughout the Commonwealth with different counties and cities. So I go to Mack Trucks, even though you're buying one, I think Hopkinsville buys 14 a year, Pike County does 10. So that's kind of there's a lot of onesie twosies. And so we put it all together and I go to Mack Trucks and say, can you grant a concession based on a 70, 80 truck purchase? So what I do is statewide purchase. So this tractor is, I have on order, and City of Hopkinsville is getting 3 just like it. Graves County is getting 1. Lewis County, your neighboring county, Washington County, they're talking about doing the same thing you're doing. So everyone gets the same price for the same equipment. We get a discount and base it that way. That's
Sounds good.
what we'll let you know that.
Yeah, I think bottom line is that devil's in the details, so we'll look at, if you can make sure that, get it to the judge or Jimmy, whatever, and email the county attorney as well as a quarter copy, so we can review the contract, and in a couple of weeks, we should be able to move forward. Do you have a question, Jimmy?
Do we need to wait 2 weeks to say that we're going to buy it, if the specs, if me and the judge look over everything and everything is good, do we need to wait 2 weeks? Because buying the truck, we're going to buy a truck regardless, ain't we?
Yeah, yeah.
We budgeted to buy a truck, yeah.
Y'all just talking about the way,
This is the program.
Well, I guess my question too is on the bid, was it actually on the bid, was it a straight out purchase or was it a lease purchase?
That's what we bid.
Okay, got you.
What Steve talked about last meeting.
Yeah.
So do you want us to make a motion if the specs check out?
The judge looks over everything, yeah, what do you think? Still
I
waiting.
agree,
Okay.
yeah.
He is saying it's going to be the February, end of February.
There will be a new 2019 Crazy Truck Business is January. They start building 2019s in 2018, so they're a year ahead. So it'll be a brand new 2019 year model. It's going to be built around the second week in January. Time it gets shipped here. We have a fab shop in Lomansville where we'll do the setup. We'll install. We've been talking with Jimmy and my fab shop manager to make sure we have the right 3-line wet line kit for your specific trailer that you're hauling, for the ejection, and we put a light.
I guess my question, and I don't have any problem with purchasing, but at the same time, is there a reason why we need to go ahead and do it today as opposed to waiting, 14 days?
If we move this CD&D out there, just say when we move it,
Yeah.
I'm going to need another truck.
But you can't get it before February anyway.
Yeah,
So
that's
the question he's asking,
If you don't,
Yeah, that's my point. So,
It's a stock truck. It's available to,
Yeah.
I have 6 of them. I have, one extra right now. So, I could always order another truck, but it may be, further down the line. And that's the risk of.
Understand.
So if somebody else comes along and says, we want that truck.
so what is further down the line? Let's be real here.
Yeah, right, well-
I've heard that a lot of times from people trying to sell things, well, you better buy today because I'm pretty sure I don't,
I've heard you say that.
he's the only
I've
guy
heard
that
you
bid.
say that
It's
before.
one thing.
Well, I'm not going to say who I know says that, but anyway.
Their production's in April, but they also have a program where they can build trucks in 6 weeks that will have slots open up in February. So realistically,
So I guess the bottom line
I'd
is,
say maybe 30 to 45 days in delivery is what we'll be looking at later than if this truck is, and very well be, nothing happens in the 2 weeks, takes you all to decide.
yeah, the only way something would happen is if you sell a truck. Yeah. So how's that looking for you?
That's my job.
and he's a salesman.
You understand that concept, don't you?
Absolutely. What have you done for me lately?
But I will have a truck. If you tell me you need a truck, we'll make it happen.
So what you're saying is that even if we hold off in 2 weeks, we tell you we want a truck in that time frame, you're going to have it for us.
I'll make it for you.
Did you hear that, guys? Now, that's very nice of you. Thank you very much. Did you hear that, Jimmy? All right, we're going to find out exactly how good a man you are with your word.
That's right.
All right. But I mean, it's whatever you guys want to do. I mean, would you rather wait and see the contract so we know exactly how we
With
go?
all things that just transpired, I say it makes sense to wait.
Okay, sounds good.
If it's gonna be about the same time frame.
Yeah, well, he's going to make sure in 2 weeks when we make that decision, he's going to take care of us.
I'm listening.
But in reality, we just need to purchase one. It doesn't really have anything to do with,
Basically, what I'm doing is I'm putting your name on that truck for 2 weeks, is what I'm doing.
Oh, I know. Been there, done that. Yeah, exactly.
So I'm covering my tracks.
I understand.
So you've got to deliver it to the auction.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have to when we decide to take that option. Yeah.
Now, just a little food for thought. Last week at the CAECO convention, Jan Wood was there, and I talked with them. They are in the process of trying to do a CAECO auction just for, Kentucky counties. I'm not sure, their main auction operation is in, Montgomery, Alabama, but we're getting enough volume up here to maybe have one just for the Kentucky counties. So that's in the works.
You talking about the same auction company with the same guarantee?
Yeah. Yeah.
Great.
And actually, I will say this. I've spoke to a couple of counties that you guys do business with, or that, one that you do business with and one that's looking at doing business with you, and things look favorable. Another thing is, too, is that I've looked into is the backhoe. There are companies, you guys don't do backhoes, but there's same opportunity in backhoes that I have to admit, it looks very appealing as far as what you have, the coverage of it, and the operational. So, yeah.
It's just like our equipment though in dump trucks. We couldn't get a dump truck from here and do this. Okay, we gotta put solvers on, equipment wise. If, the way we put equipment in these ditches and limbs smacking them, I just don't believe we can be better off.
No, auction won't work very well. The truck will be damaged. Yeah.
Unless they're very lenient.
The reason we're doing this with this truck is gonna stay on the road most of the time. If it's in an accident, it's gonna be covered under insurance.
it's our truck. I mean, we're buying it.
Yeah. All right.
Appreciate your time. Are you going to get that information?
I'll send it to the judge if that's okay.
If you don't mind, so that way he could disperse it to the county attorney and ourselves, so we appreciate it.
If the auction man's available tomorrow, we'll have it out to you tomorrow.
Sounds good. Thank you for your time.
Thanks for
Appreciate
your
it.
time, sir, in your bid.
Thank you.
Now, where are you out of?
Lexington.
Kentucky?
Yes, sir.
Awesome, okay. Yes, ma'am.
Alabama, Lexington, Alabama.
Hey, believe it or not, guys, those of you who haven't been out of Marion County, there's a few Lexingtons out there in other places.
There's a bunch of Lexingtons.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Jason, you might want to try sometime, Alabama, there's a Lexington, Alabama.
Scott, thanks for coming. Appreciate it.
Thank you, sir.
sir.
Get that to you.
All right, thank you, appreciate it.